Hi all, Carl Gasso here. Welcome to Gasso Gathers, and welcome to the newest video where we're going to finish off this Topps Allen & Ginter 2023 hobby box. Here's a little setup of some of our finds from the last video. We have the Jackie Robinson card that was the came in the special package. We have the actor from Modern Family that my wife appreciates. She's a big fan of that one. Here we have the Brandon Woodruff relic card, which was this is very special because it's my very first relic card. Wasn't highly familiar with Brandon Woodruff before, but I sure am now, and I very much appreciate him. This is a card about paddleboarding, because that is what we know Allen Ginter to give out. It's the novelty of these cards. Here's some of the mini cards we've gotten also as well. We have one for Tampa Bay and Mammoth Cave. We also have a few animals. We have the bald eagle. So yep, that's typical Allen Ginter fashion. It's why we dig these cards. And here's a little Juan Soto from when he was on the Padres. I thought it was topical because tonight, or excuse me, last night rather, was the very first game that the Mets played at the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. And so naturally, Soto got an earful from the fans. And look, that's what it's expected, right? Whoa, look at what we have here. This is a genuine Topps Allen Ginter relic card that features memorabilia from Adam Ray, comedian, actor, lover. Alrighty, that's fantastic. Alan Ray, hell yeah! All right, here we go, and we have our mini card. Very nice. All right. So yeah, as was naturally expected, Soto got an earful from the Yankee fans, his former fans, and he seemed to handle it pretty well. He tipped his cap a few times. He got walked a bunch of times, and in one of those walks, he actually managed to steal a base. So he got a little. He gave out a little. So I think that ultimately that's a good. I mean, look, the Mets lost. They didn't really put up a okay. We have right there, and that's Bear Mayer and kiteboarding. Awesome. So yeah, like I said, these are things that are expected, especially for the circumstances, which are just so unique. It's just so much. The money, the prestige of both. Of the Yankees. There's a lot that people probably didn't love about the situation involving him overall, and he's just going to obviously get the brunt of it. But and old time hockey. Wow, that is awesome. Love this guy's videos. That's a good one. And but it did actually have me thinking about fandom in general. And ultimately, this isn't necessarily going to be about complaining about it, but it does. Buster Posey, that's very cool. But it's one of those things that makes you think about what is it that what is really going on in people's minds as far as what they expect. At the end of the day, you take for an example, we'll start with Juan Soto. It's the guy has to think about his own future. He has to think about his own roles. Does he want to be in the shadow of Aaron Judge for the most of the rest of his career? Does he want to go off and be his own person? Which, and ultimately it's are we really angry at a person for turning down so much money, and also what is just so historically significant. Like, you get to be that guy, and it's like, okay, you know, it's on you if you end up having like a bad season. But like, it's just very interesting to me that like sports is like one of the only things that we criticize a person for a career where he chooses to make more money. You know what I mean? It's like, these are adult men at their jobs. And the idea that, so what also sparked this was I saw a very cringe video from a D-list actor who tried to go viral, like spazzing out about Soto betraying the Yankees or something. And he talked about how he did it for the money. And it's like, I mean, we're talking about Major League Baseball. Like, the guy can make $50 million a year, but when he chooses to get $65 million, that's all right. So now that's the line has been drawn, right? Like, it's okay if you make a certain amount of millions of dollars for your team, but all of a sudden we're splitting hairs, right? When he, you know, and at the end of the, you know, and like I said, it's like, you can make the same argument that I am, that, you know, okay, he doesn't need to make that much more million, but then again, these are athletes, right? Their time is finite. Who knows? You know, the one thing that is always brought up in terms of a player, one of the major themes of like sports movies that focus on players, like the one thing that will always come up in these movies is, you know, this person can't do this forever, right? Oh, what am I going to do after this? So it's like, yeah, you know what? That few million does possibly go a long way when you're thinking of the fact that you are a finite person. You know, most people are not Nolan Ryan. Most people are not Jaromir Jagr, right? So yeah, the other aspect of this is just how the fandom gets so very, I don't know if the right answer is controlling, but there is a kind of like ownership aspect to this that I just find interesting. It reminds me of back, you know, like I talk about how my appreciation for sports was latent. When I was much younger, I wasn't so much into sports all that much. What I was really into, and I've talked a lot about it when I addressed the vintage cards about the 90s during my childhood, was that I was like really into music. Now, so much so that when I was in my younger days, I was in a band for a short stint. Nothing big. I was about as famous in that band as I am for opening these cards right now. It's purely for fun. It was purely it was never meant to be, excuse my crying cat, but it was never meant to be a career or anything. But, you know, the one thing that you notice when it comes to music and all of its genres and subgenres is you come into contact with, like, I guess, gatekeepers, or, you know, like elitists that they're often called. And, you know, when it comes to sports, that's one thing, right? Because at least, like, they're innately competitive. But when it comes to, like, a passive medium of entertainment, like music, you would be shocked at just how vitriolic people are when it comes to their, you know, musical genres and their subgenres. And again, it's just something in that respect that I just never understood. I never got how are people going to be so judgmental and crazy over what people like just put to their ears to listen to. Ironically, here we go, music. Exactly. You know, if someone wants to listen to the Kodo, how is that any of our business? You know, like, it really is. So it just got me thinking about fandom in general, and how, like, I think that we have way too much of people who seem to be like living their lives via these mediums of entertainment, and it just never seems like it's a benefit. for people who think like punk rock is a lifestyle, right? And, same thing with a lot of that, hardcore metal, rock and roll. Like, when has that ever proven to be like a good way to go about living your life? And you have the same people, Otani, Angels, awesome. And you have the same types of people in sports who like just live their lives through the fandom and their teams. And I argue that like you need to kind of need to chill, like, right? Like, this is like this is supposed to be a pastime. This is supposed to be fun. And when your pastime has you literally screaming at another man for taking a promotion, I saw some videos. Overall, like I said, I think it was I don't think it was like a particularly crazy night last night at Yankee Stadium, but you did see there are, obviously going to be those fans out there, and it's like when you're like an adult male screaming at an adult male, and like flipping him off, it's like, I don't respect your version of passion. Like, I don't understand. I think I got to kind of pat myself on the back and say, like, I'm glad that part of the fandom aspect didn't get me, and I say that whether it's for music or movies or sports. It just begs the question. It's like, what else do you have going on in your life that you have to be so... Did we look at these cards? Oh, yeah. That we have to be so married to it. But, hey, at the end of the day, though, rivalries are what makes the sport so fun. And, but that's the other aspect to this, too, where it's like... Again, I apologize. That's my cat crying because she can't come down and see what I'm doing. But she'd be all over the table. So, but that's the other aspect to it too. It's like, again, like, I never really understood how you hate a rival team. That the fun of the rivalry wouldn't exist, right? If it wasn't for that other team existing. Like, I'm a Rangers fan. I like the New Jersey Devils. Like, why would I hate the Devils? It's so fun when you go to their games, when they're playing the Rangers and vice versa. It's like people like legit like get really like into it to the point where, like, they'll comment and they'll post about it, and it's like, what are you doing? We have 2 more packs in this set left, and this has been really fun. I really like these Allen and Ginter cards. They definitely have been keeping me on my toes. I really don't know what I'm gonna get, right? Because again, all of a sudden you're gonna get one of these guys. It's gonna be an actor, a comedian, a sports announcer. You have the you have the bird watching cards. You have the oh, that's nice, Rivera. See, Yankee player. I appreciate you, Mariano Rivera. Right. So yeah, these have been really fun, and definitely in my wheelhouse for my appreciation for the retro, the vintage. We have to see who this is. Benny Wasserman, aerospace engineer and technician, but he impersonated Albert Einstein, and a lifelong baseball fan. Well, awesome. Good for you, sir. Oh, our first Allen and Ginter auto. Awesome. Oh, it's a mini card. Oh, excuse me. The Pipa for those who enjoy the music cards. But that's awesome. So we have Vaughn Grissom, Atlanta Braves. Well, I think that's a beautiful way to end this hobby box deck. That's just great. So we have our relics, we have our auto, we have a crying cat and in the background. So thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, one of these days I'm gonna start talking about some other content on the channel, but until then, I'm just having a blast opening up these cards. I think the next video, as far as cards are concerned, we're going to be going back to the my vintage stock. Until then, please like and subscribe, and if you like these videos, you want to give a little extra support to the channel, I am a independent author. You can find my books in paperback and Kindle on Amazon if you look up Carl Gasso, the Greater Region series. I have 3 books up right now. And with that said, thank you. The very similar in theme. But with that said, thanks again so much for you guys checking out the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.